start this project, we're going to take these side mount drawer slides and throw them in the trash. Some people would lead you to believe that installing these Blum undermount soft close drawer slides is rocket science. Well, I'm no rocket scientist, and there's a few people out there that would argue that I'm not even that smart at all. You know who you are. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to install these undermount drawer slides. And I'll also show you how to build simple drawer boxes without overcomplicating everything. Do we really need to make everything on YouTube seem nearly impossible? And as you can see, we still have a lot of work to do here, so make sure that you're subscribed down below so you get all those updates. All right, let's go get to work.
These Blum drawer slides are super nice. Not only are they heavy duty, but they're also soft close. Included in the set are 2 rear mounting brackets, a left and right slide, and 2 orange left and right drawer disconnector thingies, and some screws. These slides are for overmount drawer faces, but they also make adjustable ones if you're making inset drawer faces. I left some links for you below if you want to get some for yourself, and this really helps the channel out, so thank you. When you read the instructions to install these, your head may explode. All the measurements and calculations provided may as well be a differential equation in my book. That's why I'm going to throw away the instructions and show you an easier way to install these on a cabinet that I built in a previous video, also linked below for your convenience. The first thing I need to do is find the location on the back of the cabinet where the rear mounting brackets will attach. These need to be inset from the side of the drawer opening by 3/8 of an inch. You'll want to account for this 3/8 of an inch when making your cabinet face frame. And if you've been watching for a while, you know I'm not going to measure these. No. I'm simply going to attach one rear mounting bracket into the back of each drawer slide. Then I can just set the slide in place in the drawer opening. Also, since I'm doing overmount drawer faces, I like to leave the front of the slide about 1/4 of an inch shy from the front edge of the face frame. Now I can attach the front of the slide to the face frame with 2 of the included screws. Then I repeat this process for the other slide on the other side. Now that both slides are attached to the face frame on the front, I can use a square to make sure they are both running straight back. And it does help to have a thin metal square like this that can get underneath the slide thingies. And I take a couple of quick measurements on the front and back between the slides to make sure they are parallel before screwing the back brackets to the back of the cabinet with 2 screws each. And with the power of YouTube, our 3 sets of slides are installed. Oh yeah.
Before we move on to making the drawers, I just want to say that you can do this. I know there's some online videos and their instructions can make it seem like this is super complicated, but in fact, it's really not that bad. These hinges are designed to take a little bit of wiggle room into account, and you can see here that even though we have everything screwed down, there's still a little room for these to wiggle and move around. So if you're off by a 32nd of an inch or a 16th of an inch here and there, it's not going to be an issue. Your drawer slides are going to still work just fine.
Now that the slides are installed, getting the measurements for the drawer boxes is simple. I'm using 15-inch slides, so the left and right side of my drawer boxes are going to be exactly 15 inches in length. The length of your drawer box will always be the length of the slide that you purchase. If your slides are 21 inches, your drawer box will be 21 inches deep. I suppose you could use the algebraic equation in the instructions to get the width of the drawer, or, I hate to say this, just measure. I know, measuring, right? But in this case, it is so much easier. All my drawer openings are exactly the same width. So I just take a measurement on the outside of each drawer slide, and that's the length I need to cut each front and back piece of my drawer box. The drawer box height is up to you. It just needs to be at least 1 inch smaller than your face frame opening. And that's it. Those are the 3 dimensions we need to make our drawer box. To construct the drawer boxes, I start by ripping down some 3/4 inch plywood to width. This will be the height that you want each drawer box to be. Then I cut the 6 side and 6 back pieces to length on the miter saw. Now I need to add a 1/4 inch groove near the bottom of each drawer side. This 1/4 inch groove will hold a 1/4 inch plywood drawer bottom in place. The important thing to note here is that this groove needs to start exactly 1/2 inch from the bottom of your drawer side to ensure there is enough clearance for our undermount slide hardware later. To do this, I set up my table saw fence for a 1/2 inch cut and make the first pass on the bottom of each side piece about 3/8 of an inch deep. It's also a good idea to run a scrap piece through at the same time so you can dial in your cut without practicing on one of your drawers. Now you could use a 1/4 inch dado stack to make this cut in one pass, but I'm cheap so I don't have a dado stack, and if I did I probably wouldn't take the time to set it up for this anyway. I think you get a much better fit by moving the fence over a little at a time to dial in the perfect cut, since the width of plywood usually varies. Also, be careful to move your fence in the right direction. You want to maintain that 1/2 inch clearance you need on the bottom of the drawer box for the slides later. Hey, maybe this guy is smarter than he looks after all. With that that done, I can rip some 1/4-inch plywood down to size. You'll want this to be a pretty snug fit. Since I have it laying around the shop, I decided to steal my wife's iron and apply some heat-activated edge banding to the top edge of each drawer side. Just crank up the iron to its full temp, snap off a piece a little longer than you need, iron it on, cut it down to length, use a plane or a neat tool like this fast cap trimmer to trim the excess from the edge, link below, and finish with a little bit of light sanding. I also lightly sanded the drawer bottoms at this time and added some sealer to them too. And this is the time you want to take a notch out of the back of each drawer box. I didn't do this and it made things a little harder for me later. I'll show you what I had to do in just a minute. And he was doing so good too. Now you probably think I want to spend a perfectly good Saturday afternoon hand cutting some fine dovetail joints. And you would be wrong. I'm going to assemble these drawers using simple butt joints, a little glue, and a few nails. After I attach the front, I slide the 1/4-inch plywood into the groove, add a little more glue, clamp everything down, check it for square, nail it in place, and call it a day. Now before I get a bunch of hate mail in the comments down below, let me explain. First of all, these are going in my house, and once they're filled with junk, it's a good possibility they will never be opened again. And yes, you could use pocket screws in the front and rear drawer sides, but honestly, who likes drilling pocket holes? Lastly, the way I constructed these, the nails are going in the opposite way you would pull on a drawer, just like pocket screws would. And when I nail these in place, I put a few of the nails in alternating angles, giving this incredible strength. And if you choose so, these nail holes are easy to fill and hide later. And this is where I realized I had made a mistake. I needed to cut a 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch notch out of the corner of each drawer to make room for the undermount drawer slide. This would have been much easier to do before assembling the drawers, but I was still able to mark this out and cut it with my jigsaw. Live and learn, smart guy. Now I can attach the two left and right orange slide release thingies to the front underside of each drawer box with 2 screws each. And there's just one last thing we need to do to make the drawer boxes work with our drawer slides. We need to drill a 1/4-inch hole 1/2 inch deep on the back side of each drawer box that will accept these metal tab thingies on the slides. Since I hate measuring, I'm going to take each drawer, put it in place, and bang it a few times to get a mark on the back of each drawer so I know exactly where I need to drill each hole. Don't overcomplicate this. You don't need to buy a fancy jig. Nothing is linked below for this. Now I slide everything into place and it's smooth, just like butter. Now I install the drawer faces. I made these from some 3/4 inch MDF, and yes, there's a good reason for going with these simple slab drawer faces. It's because they will match the cabinet style we have in the rest of the house. I pre-drill some holes and attach these on the back with some 1 1/4 inch wood screws. To get the drawer handles perfectly aligned, I made a jig out of some scrap plywood and glued it together with some CA glue.
Now double check that you're subscribed down below. As you can see, we still have a lot of work to do here. We still need to install this bench top. We're gonna build in a locker feature here. And we're also gonna build this cabinet up top to give these baskets a home. I also need to figure out what I'm gonna do with this wall here. And if you wanna see how this project ends up, then click the video on the screen right over here. Thanks for watching.